7. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those sin against us. And do not bring us to test, but deliver us from evil. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Good morning, class.
Morning pa, ma'am.
Morning po, ma'am.
Good morning.
So let us now go on to the discussion of lesson 7, which is the elements of art. The elements of art is now consist of different elements or categories of art. So first we have the visual art, then the second is auditory art, and the last will be the performance art that consists of dance and theater. First, let us have now discuss about the visual arts. So it consists of line, shape, texture, form, space, color, and volume. The first one is the line. Anyone who would like to read what is the role of line inside the elements of art in the visual art? Yes, Miss Ariel.
Lines. A line is a basic element of art, referring to a continuous mark made on a surface by a moving point. A line is long relative to its width. It can define a space, create an outline or pattern, imply movement or texture, and allude to mass or volume.
Thank you very much. Let's give our virtual clap. Okay, so it means that the line serves one of the elements of art or visual art was came from a dot with a continuous movement that can create a line. So the line can be an outline or pattern which can give a mass or volume to such creation of visual art that is defined with different width and thickness of it. So the lines are categorized with two different types, such as straight line and curved line. And straight line could be divided into horizontal, vertical, and diagonal, while the curved line could be crooked or jagged. The first one, we have the horizontal. When we say horizontal line, it depicts about the landscape. So it is more on giving us the brilliance of meeting of the earth and the sky that can give a reclining to the persons with the different nature skills with calming bodies of water, which give you a sense of being in nature. Then we have now the vertical lines. Anyone who can read what is a vertical line? Yes, Mr. Mercado.
Vertical lines are lines that denote action. They suggest poise, balance, force, aspiration, exaltation, and dynamism. Vertical lines also tend to express as well as aroused emotion of exaltation and inquietude.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a virtual clap. So when we say vertical lines, it gives us a suggestion of being poised, balance, force, aspiration, and exaltation, and dynamism. So it means that it gives you a sense of being firm, standing on a point, and being strong-willed, as it gives you an arousal emotions of exaltation and inquietude. So for example, here are the cathedrals or Gothic cathedrals in most mainly we could see this kind of structure in Europe places. So as you can see, the Gothic cathedrals are more on the structure of vertical lines that gives you a firm standing, a strong exaltation, and gives you a feeling that it is a strong build one. Then we have now the diagonal lines. Anyone who would like to read what is a diagonal line and gives emphasis to it as we use it? Yes, let us have Mr. Oliva.
Diagonal lines suggest action, life, and movement. Almost every object in an action assumes a diagonal line.
Thank you very much. Let's give a virtual clap. As you can see, when we say diagonal line, it gives a suggestion that the object, even though it is a visual art rather, I guess it gives us a sense that it is in action or in motion. So for example, here the man is now running. We can depict that he is in action because of the uh, combination of diagonal lines. So we can assume that an object, even though it is a visual art, it is having motion, in action, or movement. Now we have the curved lines. Anyone who would like to read what is a curved line? Yes, Miss Pueblo.
Curved lines suggest grace, subtleness, direction, instability, movement, flexibility, joyousness, and grace.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a virtual clap. So we have now the curved line. So it gives us a sense of being in grace, gives you a subtleness, gives you direction, instability, movement, flexibility, joyous, and grace. For that point, unlike with vertical lines, it gives you the force, aspiration, and being there. But in the curved line, it gives you now being subtle, being smooth, being in flexible movement, and give you a joy or gracious movement. And then lines in painting, these are the examples. The first one, as you can see here, it is a combination of vertical lines that gives you that the trees are firm, standing tall, and also strong. While in the other hand, which is the use of vertical line and a diagonal line, it gives you a sense of movement of water because of diagonal, and the curved line gives you a subtle feeling. Then we have another drawing or lines in drawing. The first example gives you an idea of the combination of curve lines and even diagonal lines that gives you an illusion and movement. And in the other hand, we have now the rain pouring or the water pours. So it means that it gives you also the feeling that the drops of the rain or these lines or these diagonal lines gives you that it is in motion, continuous pouring of water because of rain. Then how about in architecture? So the first example here that we have is also an example of vertical lines and also a curved line. So it gives you a sense of being strong built, a firm one, a high rise, and also the curved line gives you a feeling that it is a safe zone. Then the another one, on the other hand, the second picture depicts now the combination of horizontal and vertical lines. So it is now the meeting of the earth and also the sky, while there is an architectural build with a strong use of the lines of vertical lines that gives us the feeling that it is a strong standing fear. Did we have any question about the lines? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question about the lines. Thank you very much. Now let us go on to the colors. Anyone who would like to read how colors can create and contribute to our visual art? Yes, Sister Tonelete.
Colors. Color is the visual element that has the strongest effect on our emotions. It is the element we use to create the mood or atmosphere of an artwork.
Have now the colors. Kindly give him a virtual clap. Thank you very much. So the colors are now setting the tone, setting all the emotion, and gives the mood of the atmosphere of an artwork. So this is one of the significant part of creating a visual art. So through the use of these colors, it can catch the attention of your viewers and can set a tone or the emotion or even the mood of the artist, transcending its expression of emotion to his or her audience. And we have now different uses of colors and different artwork. The first one is color as light. Anyone who would like to read? Yes, Mr. Lizardo.
Color as light, a poetic impression that represents the physical properties of light. At its center, the bulb burns with a white heat in the darkness of the night. Its radiant glow dissolves in concentric waves, each of which diminish in intensity and change color to suggest different wavelengths of the spectrum.
Thank you very much. Let us give him a virtual clap. We have now color as a light. We are now using light as giving the attention of shining colors within the darkness. So through the use of this, we can give emphasis to such object that shines throughout darkness, and this is how we can use color as a light. The next one, we have color as a tone. Anyone who would like to read? Yes, Miss Medenilia.
Color as stone, a classic example of an expressionist painting technique. It is painted more from memory than from observation using the natural fluidity of watercolor to mirror the changing mood of the landscape.
Let us give her a virtual clap. Thank you very much. We have next color as a tone. So if color as a light is the giving emphasis to the colors within the darkness. Now color as a tone gives you a sense of turning observation to such memories to your audience. It is how you engage your audience with the use of natural fluidity of watercolor that can change the mood of the landscape that turns observation to memory. Then next we have color as a form. Anyone who would like to read? Yes, Mr. Escalante.
Color as form. To create the illusion of form in a painting, artists traditionally added lighter and darker pigments to the main color of an object in order to render the naturalistic effects of light and shade.
Thank you very much. Let us give him a virtual clap. Okay, we have now color as a form. So it is now the use of color that can give you such illusion. So through the use of the combination of lighter color and darker pigments that gives a natural effects or naturalistic effects of light and shade. So for example here, a portrait of Matisse by Andre Derain in 1905. As you can see here, the first one that you will see with the use of these different colors is a man, but you cannot recognize first his tobacco. So from that point, you will see the combination of naturalistic color of light colors that gives background to such creation of shades. This one is the shade one that gives emphasis to such portrait of this man. Then next we have color as a pattern. Anyone who would like to read? Yes, Mr. Argidas.
Color as a pattern. The artist assigns different colors to particular shapes which create an asymmetrical pattern of forms arranged around the white cloth at the center of the painting.
Okay, now we have color as a pattern. It is how you will use asymmetrical objects and assign the color for them to enable your audience will engage to it and will know what is the objects that you use inside or subject that you use inside your artwork. When we say asymmetrical shapes or objects, it means that you cannot easily identify what are those. When we say symmetrical, they are perfectly balanced, and also not just balanced, but you can easily identify what kind of object it is. But when we say asymmetrical, they are now in unbalanced, and you cannot recognize it in the first look. But because of the color as a pattern, we can now assign colors for them. So, for example, here, created by Juan Gris in 1913, which is violin and checkerboard. So the first one, you cannot identify that there will be violin there and a checkerboard. But because we are now pertaining with the color as a pattern, he assigns different colors for different objects. For the violin, as you can see, we have here the color green with black with this color. We can now identify that there are violins existing inside this art. Then the next is the checkerboard. So through the use of blue color and then the color of the checkerboard with black uh, and brown color, it is now pertains that this pattern is about the checkerboard. And some of it with the different objects also existing. The cloth has different colors of yellow, and then one of gives you more catching attention is the white color of the cloth. This white color was really intended by Juan Gris that his viewers will catch its attention and being intrigued of this artwork. So do we have any question about color as a pattern? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. Next, we have now color as harmony. Anyone who would like to read what is color as harmony? Yes, Mr. Mercado.
Color as harmony. Harmony is the compatibility, balance, or progression of similar elements. Blue Dancers by Edgar Degas is a carefully composed pastel painting that illustrates the harmony of color as well as several other visual elements.
Okay, next we have the color as harmony. This kindly give Mr. Mercado virtual clap. Thank you very much. So color as harmony is now choosing right colors with compatibility, balance, and the progression of similar elements. So through this, as the creation of Edgar Degas, the Blue Dancers in 1899, with the use of perfect colors combined together, you will see the illustration of the harmonious relationship between colors and visual elements that gives you a feeling of being balanced. So, do we have any question about color as harmony? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. Next, we have color as contrast. You may uh, begin to observe it first before we go on to the explanation. So I will give you at least 1 minute. So that is how we will use color as contrast. Okay, let us now go on to the explanation. Anyone who would like to read how Turner uses color as a contrast. Anyone from the class who would like to read? Yes, Mr. Limpeng.
Color as contrast. The composition of the work is divided into four sections, each of which harbors one of the four classical elements. This painting is a cleverly arranged contrast of opposite colors, tones, and classical elements, which Turner has devised to heighten the impact of each.
Okay, as you can see, he divided it into four sections of the combination of the contrast of light and dark colors that can give an association with four classical elements. And he's very clever to arrange it with the purpose, which Turner is now highlighting all of the impacts of each elements, where it is now divided into four. So that's why we have water. So you can identify that it is a water because of the reflection of the light colors uh, on this bottom. Then the light color, which is the fire, that resonance the bright color. And then unconscious of it, we have now the air with dark colors that gives you a sense of lesser intensity. And then on the bottom below, we have now the earth, which it gives you a sense of the land and even structure. So through that, you could also use this as a technique on how you will use color in the playful part, which you will show to your audience that you can combine the conscious of colors of light and dark. Then next you have color as a movement. Anyone who would like to read what is color as a movement? Yes, Mr. Ponce.
Colors of movement. Victor Vasarely makes use of this impulse to create an impression of movement by combining graduated squares and sequential colors. These lead the eye into and through the image with increasing and decreasing acceleration.
Thank you very much. I kindly give him a virtual clap. We have the color as a movement. So through the use of colors, the combination of these can give you a sense of technique of having an illusion. So from this example by Victor Versailles, you have a sense on how you will observe it that there will be increasing and decreasing of acceleration. If you will go into the tunnel, you will feel the acceleration, and if you will go back outside the tunnel, you will see how it decreases the acceleration. So from this sequential colors, it will give you a sense that if it is a visual art, it has a movement of creation. Next, you have now color as a mood. Anyone who would like to read color as a mood? Yes, Mr. Lizard.
Color as a mood. In 1901, Picasso sank into a deep depression after suicide of his close friend Carlos Casagemas. His subsequent work reflected his sad psychological state in both its subject matter and the colors he used to paint it.
Thank you very much. Let us give him a virtual clap. We have now color as a mood. So it means that the color can also set the mood of the whole atmosphere inside an artwork. So one of the example of it was created by Pablo Picasso in 1901, The Old Guitarist. It is now the expression of the emotions of Pablo Picasso regarding with his depression after the suicide of his close friend, which is Carlos Casagemas. And through that, as you can see, all of the colors he used is about blue. Then the guitar was given emphasis and caught your attention because it has another color he used. Because he have a saying or a line that if someone feels blue, it is about loneliness, sadness, and being upset. So that's why in The Inside Out movie, that sadness is color blue because blue pertains with loneliness and sadness. So that's why Pablo Picasso used this color of blue, giving a sense of the mood or setting the mood of being expressing his loneliness and sadness about the loss of his friend. Then next, let us have now the texture. So do we have any question about the colors? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. So you could use it while you are doing your visual art as you play the different colors, setting it with different angles. Now let us go on to the texture. So it says here that texture is more likely direct on the use of our sense of touch. So it is about the examine of the surfaces of a visual art and how we will interpret it. So the texture, anyone who would like to read the texture? Yes, is Flatkin.
Texture. During the 19th to 20th centuries, a high premium was placed on very smooth surfaces and forms. A group of painters, including Cézanne, Picasso, and others emphasized texture by purposely making portions of the paintings rough. Texture is being used by sculptors, architecture, paintings, and any other forms of art.
Let us give our virtual clap. We have now the texture. So texture was also one of the techniques that we could do, and it was started in 19th and 20th century. Even the group of painters such as Cézanne, Picasso, and other artists is now give emphasis to a texture or some portions of their paintings. So the usual, these rough surfaces, you will see it when the painting has a part of being embossed. Pag sinabing embossed, nakaangat. Kapag nakaangat siya, pag hinawakan siya ng isang viewer or the one who perceive it, if you will touch that, you will feel its texture. And then this texture is being used by sculptors, architecture, paintings, and other forms of art. So that's why, for example, for sculptors, you will identify the different materials that they use. So, for example, if the sculptor uses the wood, if you will touch its surface, you will know that the material used was a wood. And then, for example, as well, if you will touch the surface of of one of the sculptor's output, which is the material used is a fiberglass. So you will touch it that it is not the real wood, but it was a creation of fiber. And then also, if the sculptor uses a cement, so or clay, you will also distinguish that through the use of the sense of touch. So that's why, while you are young, your parents wants you to play outside, so to explore the world and even the use of your sense of touch. Why? Because the exercise of the sense of touch really increases your intelligence and increases the uses of, of one of your senses, which is the touch. So from that, being able to distinguish different leaves, not just according to its characteristic, but also on how you will feel its surface. You can distinguish the difference between the leaves of mango and santol because of its surfaces. Am I right? Can you give me a thumbs up reaction if you experience that? Diba? So through the use of this sense of touch, your imagination is now going inside your head and you can now give such description with just touching. So that's why, as of the day, according to research and science, those generations of the day that are now exposed with technology and digital things, so they have the lower use of their sense of touch. Okay, you will see it if you have your own siblings or younger siblings. Saan ba sila exposed? Diba exposed sila on the soft surfaces. Gawa ng screen ng cellphones and also iPad or tablets na meron kayo sa bahay. Yan. Anong nawawala sa kanila? So, nawawala rin sa kanila yung increasing of intelligence and the use of their imagination through the use of sense of touch. Kaya mas hindi sila interesado about the world. Kaya mapapansin niyo that here in the Philippines, we are now second to the last among about science, mathematics, and English. Why? Because our generation of today is not curious enough about the world. Why? Because the technology of today gives them all the answer, then that they don't need to explore it anymore. And from that, tinatanggalan natin sila ng chance on how they will explore their imagination through the use of sense of touch. Diba dati nga, nadidistinguish nyo the differences between the soil. Alam nyo kung loam yung soil, alam nyo kung clay yun, at alam nyo kung siya ay sand. Tama ba? Give you a thumbs up reaction if you already experienced that. Diba? According to their surfaces, talaga nadidistinguish nyo yung pagkakaiba nilang lahat. And today, if you will do that to the younger generation, ano magiging unang nilang reaction? Di ba ayaw nilang hawakan? Natatakot sila. Akala nila kung ano ipapahawak nyo sa kanila. Imbis na they are now brave enough to explore the world, they are not. Ano sasabihin nila sa inyo? Nasa internet naman, malinaman din na. So they will not have their own observation, their own hypothesis to experiment and to try if their idea is correct. Because they are now limited because of our technology that we have today. Although technology is giving us a sense of different communication, positive reinforcement, and some advancements, but we are also having a decline about that. So meron pa rin drawbacks, meron pa rin loopholes regarding with the use of technology. If we didn't explore the world and even test our own hypotheses and experience all things here, we will not be able to be curious. And being curious is one step in science. If you're curious enough to answer your question, then critical thinking will be the next one to proceed. So that's why texture or the sense of touch is really important to exercise. Kaya may nakita niyo sa mga kapatid niyo, di ba? Pag tinakot niyo sila, huy, ano yan, ano yan? Mabilis silang matakot kasi nga, Ang surface ng nahahawakan nila is soft surfaces. And texture is also divided into two types. The first one is what we call the actual texture. When we say actual texture, it refers to the real surface qualities and noticed by touching the object. So it means that you're the one who experience the actual surface with the use of sense of touch. So that's why it is called as actual texture. The second one is what we call visual texture. So what will be the difference between the two? If the actual texture is the actual surface that you are now experiencing with the sense of touch, the visual texture is now the use of your imagination to the sense of sight. So it is how you create your imagination as you implied the sense of texture inside of them. So through the use of observing the line, shades, and even colors. And the example of it will be this one. It is created by Sargent in 1909 up to 1911. So as you can see, the different colors used, the shading, it will give you a sense of being hard, rough, because of the color chosen. So through the use of your imagination, you will feel the visual texture. Then next we have the space. Anyone who would like to read? Yes, Miss Medenile.
Space refers to distances or areas around, between, or within components of a piece.
Thank you very much. Let us give her a virtual clap. Okay, so the space is now distances between areas or within the components of a piece. One of the example of it could be distinguished as positive and negative, which positive, if it means that the color used is white or light, and then or negative, because it is used colors of black and dark colors. It could be an open or closed space, shallow or deep, or even the use of two-dimensional and three-dimensional. But sometimes the space isn't actually within the piece, but the illusion of it is. So it means that the part of space was not included on the piece itself, but rather if you will use your imagination and your observation, you will see the illusion through the use of space. These are now the examples. The first one is the example of negative and positive, which is the use of space of white and black. And then the next one is the example of what I am saying, that it is not a part of the masterpiece itself, but rather it is now the use of space to create such illusion. So you can observe that it is a face. And then the third one is also an example of three-dimensional type of space that creates another visual art very good. Then next we have shape and form. Anyone who would like to read? Yes, Miss Seville.
Shape and form is the property of two-dimensional form, usually defined as a line around it or by a change in color.
Very much. Let us give her a virtual clap. Okay, we have now shape and form. So when we say shape and form, it is not the property of two-dimensional form and usually defined by line around it and or a change in color. And then the difference between the two, when we say shape, it is two-dimensional. And when we say form, it is three-dimensional. When we say shape, na two-dimensional, these are the circle, rectangle, square, then triangle. And then when we say form, it has a volume. because that's why it is three-dimensional. So, ano may yung mga shapes na may, yung forms na may three-dimensional. So, it could be a sphere, a cone, pyramid, and so on. So, do we have any question, the difference between shape and form? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. And also, the shape and form can apply overall design about the artwork. It describes the structure of shape and object and directs the movement of eyes on how you will perform your observation, and also consists of size and volume that significant or signifies the visual rate. Shape and form is also divided into two types. The first one is geometric. When we say geometric, there are mathematical, precise, and being named basically a geometric form. So it means that when we say geometric, if it is mathematical, you can easily identify what kind of shape or form used by the artist. For shape, it could be, as I said a while ago, circle, rectangle, triangle, square, and then for form, as geometric, you can identify if it is a sphere, cube, pyramid, or cone. And how about the organic? When we say organic, they are just free flowing, curvy, snowy, and not symmetrical kind of shape. So there are not easily to measure or name as well. So it means that the usual it is used for nature, such as the shape of flowers, branches, leaves, puddles, clouds, animals, and even human figure. Wala naman sigurong mukhang square, di ba? Wala namang mukhang triangle. So that's why our human figure is an organic shape. Tawa kayo, di ba? Mamaya makita nyo, kaklase niya, merong square yung mukha. Di ba? Hindi naman, it is unusual. Yeah. So that's why it is organic. And do we have any question about the shape and form? So these are now the examples. The first one, it is shape and form, and this one as well. And then the last one is organic. So both geometric and then the one is organic for free flowing forms. So do we have any question about the elements of visual art? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. So habang nagdi-discuss ako, pwede kayong kumain ng lunch dyan. Basta makikinig lang. Ha? Okay lang naman yan. Then next we have now the auditory arts. And because it is auditory art, it is about music. So we have now the common elements of auditory art, such as rhythm, melody, pitch, harmony, tempo, dynamics, and rhythm. The first one is rhythm. So rhythm is now the measurement of music or sound or the length of it. So it could be defined with beat and meter. So that's why we can enable to give counts for music because of rhythm. So for example, yung 4/4, 2/4, yan. Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction kung familiar kayo dyan. So kaya siya binibigyan ng kumpas because of what? A beat and meter. It is the rhythm itself. So the beat is the component of the simple pulse of almost music which is familiar to us. Kaya nga 'di ba pag nagkakantahan kayo magkakaklase, may nagbabaradag, yan. Yung baradag na yon, yung beat na yon, it is what we call the beat, which is included with the rhythm. And then the meter is now the fixed or regular pattern with a uniform number of beats in the uniform of measurements. So because rhythm is the measurement of the music. Then next you have the melody. So the melody is the aesthetic value or static product of music. So it is the organized group of pitches, and sometimes because of this, the mental motion acquires by people and called it as memory element that is remembered by the listeners. Yung kahit hindi mo na alam yung lyrics, basta alam mo yung melody, you can identify what music is that. So naranasan niyo na ba yan pag nagpapahulaan kayo ng kanta, sabi niyo, uy, alam niyo ba yung kantang to? Tapos maghaham lang kayo or mag-iim. Yan. So, through the use of melody, being able to recall what kind of music or song is that. Then next, you have the pitch. So, the pitch is now the highness or lowness of the sound. And solely by the frequency and of molecular vibration. So, in science, diba we are able to measure sound by decibels. So we are able to know if there will be a sound if there is a vibration. Then yan ang tatandaan ninyo. May sound siya kapag merong vibration. So true vibration of highness or lowness of it is what we call the pitch. So it says here, the slower the vibration, the lower the pitch. And the faster the vibration, the higher the pitch. The next we have the harmonies. So the harmony is now the combination of the sound or group of tones, which simultaneously sounding of pitches regardless of whether the chords sound pleasing or not. So it means that the harmony is the one who blends the combination of sounds, the tones, and even the pitch. It is either pleasing to the ones who are hearing it or not. And the harmony consists of chord, concord, and discord. When we say chord, it is now the combination of two or more tones at the same time a fundamental component of rhythm. So it means that while you are now trying to create your music, it is important to know the chords because the chords are the simple blocks of creation of your music. Kaya nga, di ba kapag tutugtog kayo, uy, anong chords? Anong chords? Because the chords are now simply the combination of two or more notes. And then what is concord? So concord is now the combination or the chord that produces an impression of being agreeable or resolution to the listeners. So it is now the blend of all chords. So for example, you are a beginner on how you will play your guitar. So ano yung unang step? So of course, know the chords. And then while you are now completing those chords and creating a music and sound, it is what we call concord. And now about the discord or the dissonance. So it is not the property of attraction or repulsion between notes of different pitch, giving rise to a sense of instability or restlessness. So it is now about the attraction of right tones, right notes of different pitch to become discord. Or sometimes it is also the repulsion. So for example, may narinig kang kumanta, tama naman yung tugtog. Kasi yung kanta hindi nagbi-blend in kasi sintonado na siya. Yan. So that is what we call discord, nagre-repulsion. Pero kapag nagkakaroon ng attraction, so good yung pagkakanta, stable siya, and then it could be also a part of harmony. Kindly give me a thumbs up for action if you don't have any question. Then next you have tempo. So tempo is now the speed of a certain music piece. So it could be slow, quick, or moderate. You will see that inside your karaoke. Yung mga nagkakaraoke dyan, di ba? Nakikita niyo yung tempo plus, tas tempo minus. Tuwang-tuwa kayong pinipindot-pindot mo yun. Yan. So, anong meaning lang yan? It means that you are now changing the speed of the original music piece. And because tempo is about the speed, it could be slow, it could be quick, or just moderate lang. And tempo also known with different indication. We have the largo for very slow, adagio, slow and stately, andante at a walking pace, adantino, alternatively faster or slower than andante, allegretto, which is moderately fast, allegro, fast presto or very fast, accelerando, gradually becoming faster, and retardando, gradually becoming slower. So you will be familiar to it, or you heard this indication when you watch Little Einstein. Yan. Sino dito yung nakapanood na nun? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction kung napanood nyo na yan. Yan, di ba sana yan sa Disney Channel dati. Yan. So yung Little Einstein, ang ginagamit nila is this tempo because it is about also the music. So it is about the speed or the speed of such musical piece. Then next we have dynamics. So when we say dynamics, it is not the volume of such a sound. It is about the loudness or softness of the music. So, sino dito yung mga naging choir dati? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction. And sino dito yung naging part ng choir? Ay, walang kumakanta. Tawa wala na kumakanta. Yan. Kung naging part kayo ng choir dahil nahihiya kayo, di ba may time na di po sayang. Yeah, we will try next time. It is okay. And so yung dynamics na yun, it will be blended. So may group na sasabihin sa kanila, lowered medyo hinaan na yung voice. Kasi bigyan natin ng emphasis yung isang group. Yan. So that is dynamics. What do we call it? So it is not the volume of it, the loudness and softness of the music. Then we have the timbre, which refers to the tone quality, and it helps differentiate one type of voice to another one or instrument from another. So example of it, if you are belong to a choir, if you're a choir member, kaya nga di ba ginugroup sila as soprano, tenor, alto, bajo, yan. So it means that they have their quality of tones. And because of timbre, you will identify which group are there. So because of the tone quality. So kapag mataas yung boses, soprano yan. Kapag medyo bumababa na, alto na yan. Kapag medyo yung kanyang boses ay pabilog na, talagang nagdadala siya ng bass doon, yan, baho ang tawag doon. Tapos kapag naman tenor, ito na yung mga matataas din yung pitch, pero nag-blend in sila all throughout the numbers. So that is what we call the timbre. Then next, we have now the elements of combined arts. For the elements of combined arts, it is also divided with dance and theater. So, do we have any question about the auditory art? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. we have now the combined arts. The first one is the elements of dance, and it consists of theme, design, movement, technique, music, costume and paraphernalia, and choreography. Who among you are dancers? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction nga kung sino dito yung mga dancers. Wow, may mga dancers pala dito. Kanina, nahihiya kayo na singer kayo. Pero, dancer. Ayan. So, these are not the common elements of dance. The first one is the theme. So, the theme is now the message of the dance. So, it is commonly seen for interpretative dance, doxology, or even to modern dances that really gives you the element of how they are now expressing the message through an artistic way through the use of dance. Then the second one is the movement. So the movement is now the pattern of movement or the design the design is the pattern of movement in time and space. So it means that if your choreographer tells you that in this moment or in this music or in this count, this is the particular pattern of movement or the step. It is what we call the design. So for example, or in counts of 16, ito yung inyong step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's why meron talagang count. Because it is what we call the design. Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. Sino ba dito yung mga choreographers? Kindly give me a heart reaction nga. Yung mga choreographers natin dito. Yung tuwing may group activity, sila yung nagagalit kasi ayaw sumunod sa pagsayaw. Sino yun? Wala ba? Wala ba sa inyo nga ganon? Yung Jewel. Ayan. Pinahihirapan niyo si Jewel, Ayan. So that is what we call the design. Kaya sila nagka-count because of the pattern of the movement. So sasabihin nila, sa first part, ganito ha. Then the next 16 counts. Ito ulit yung, ito na yung magiging movement natin. So that is what we call design. Then the next is movement. So the movement deals with overall bodily actions of the dancer. It could be the steps, the gesture, the arms, hand, and body, and even facial expression is added to the value. Why? Because through facial expression, it gives also an artistic way on how you will express the whole message of the dance. So from that kind of facial expression, you are now engaging your audience. Kaya napakahalaga din nun na may facial expression kayo while you are dancing. So, the whole bodily action is what we call movement. The next, we have the technique. So, the technique is the skill movement executed by the dancer. So, it could be about the ballet. So, ballet is a skill movement. So, it is a technique. It could be hip-hop. It could be cramping. Yan. Sino dito yung nagka-cramping? Yung bigla-bigla na lang biglang tatambling. Yan. Meron ba sa inyo na? Medyo delikado lang talaga. And then yung cheer dancing is also a technique of a skill or yan. Ingat-ingat din. Yan. Ay, hindi pala cramping. Cramming pala. Yung tipong isang linggo bago yung exam, sinabi na may exam, tapos kagabi lang nag-review. Ayun, malalang cramming yun. The next, we have now the music. So the music is now the auditory background which the dancer moves. And the usual, it accompanies our dance. So through music, it also adds life to such dance. Then next, we have the costume. So the costumes are the properties formed by the dancers and reflects on the message, customs, beliefs, and setting of the dance. So for example, you have the task to do your folk dance. Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction nga kung sino na yung nakapag-folk dance dito. Diba? And then during folk dance, your teacher will not allow you to just show a costume, but it should be related to such custom or belief of one folk dance. So, for example, if the folk dances came from Mindanao, so it is another type of costume you need to wear. So that's why costume gives an additional factor on how the dancers interprets the dance, the message to give its customs, beliefs, and how you will set the dance. Then next is choreography. So the choreography is now the overall figures, steps in dancing enable the dancer to perform in an organized manner. So the dancers will complete their dancing step is what do we call the choreography. Karenyosa. Babaeng version yung napunta sa... Okay lang yun. And that, when we are also in college, kasi talagang every PE may iba't ibang dance. So dahil mas maraming babae sa amin, ako nga naging lalaki din. Yan, during that time. So ang hirap talagang kailangan mag-a-adjust tayo. Siyempre, grade na yun eh. So once again, choreography is the overall combination of different figures and steps with organized manner on how the dancer will execute it better and how they execute it artistically. So that's why these choreographers, kanina sabi nyo, si Miss Medinilla, she was one of your choreographers while you having this kind of activity. Then Miss Medinilla is also an artist. Why? Because choreography is very hard. And being a choreographer, you need an imagination also to deal with to create a perfect steps all together. It should be blend in with the first step or the designs that you have as you create your choreography. Then next, you have now the common elements of theater. So it could, they are the nagpa-piano po yan. O, diba? So, it is very artistic talaga. So, the theater composed of scenery, acting and the actors, the sound, spatial relationships, lighting, and costume. The first one is what we call scenery. Anyone who would like to read what is scenery? Yes, Sister Argidas.
Scenery provides the physical environment in which the dramatic action comes to life.
Thank you very much. We have now scenery. Kindly give him a virtual clap. So scenery provides a physical environment. The dramatic action comes to life. So in other words, while you're doing this kind of theater act or theater performance, you need to have props. Ano yung mga props na yun? So for example, it is according to the scene that you will do. So that's why it is called scenery. So for example, that the scene is taken inside the house. So of course, the physical environment should be inside the house. So to provide the dramatic action will becomes into life. Then next, we have acting or actors. Anyone who would like to read? That is acting and acting. Yes, Sister Samantha.
Acting actors. Actors bring the characters to life, investing them with movement, voice, passion, intellect, and desire.
Thank you very much. Let us give her a virtual clap. We have now acting and actors. So the actors will now bring into life their characters with the use of investing to their movement, voice, passion, intellect, and desire. So while you are being an actor, you need to internalize and learn about your character to give justice in. So do you able to watch the Glory, yung K-drama ni Song Hye Kyo? Yan. Kung napanood niyo siya, it is a very dark uh, kind of scenarios there. And then the antagonist really internalizes her character to give justice into it. But because her character as an antagonist is very brutal, even her she experiences difficulties. Saan yung mga difficulties? Yung talagang to the point she cannot sleep well, she suffer from depression because she internalizes the character to give justice to it. So that's why being an actor or actress is very hard. It is not just you can pretend, but rather you are now living the character. So that's why the word is investing. Investing to the movement, voice, passion, intellect, and your desire to act. Then next you have the sound. Anyone who would like to read what is the sound? Yes, Sister Lagundi.
Sound. Generate meaning, create mood, and enhance atmosphere or feeling in a theatrical performance.
Thank you very much. Let's give her a virtual clap. I give him a virtual clap. So we have now the sound. So the sound will now create such mood, enhance the atmosphere and the feeling inside the theatrical performance, because the sound really gives another conviction to convince and persuade your audiences to be engaged and give a sympathetic value and create a relationship between the actor and then the audience. So for example, if the scenario is now being horror, alam nga naman yung music na gagawin mo, nakakatawa, hindi naman, di ba? So to add more to that scenario, you could add some sound. So for example, also to those people who are into short filmmaking, diba, the right sound will give another life to your short film. So it is very important as well. The next you have spatial relationship. Anyone who would like to read the role of spatial relationship? Yes, Sister Danilete.
Spatial relationship. The physical positioning of actors on the stage relative to other actors, scenic elements, the playing space, and the audience.
Thank you very much. Let us give him a virtual clap. So when we say spatial relationship or spatial relationship, sana special. De joke lang. Spatial relationship, it is about the blockings or the physical positioning of the actors. They should find the right position to enable to catch the audience attention and sympathetic value into it and to engage them and create some relationship between actors and the audience. So, because kung, for example, the scene is very a heavy scene, yung umiiyak ka na talaga, eh kaso nakatalikod ka sa audience, do you think you will persuade them or convince them about the scenario? Diba hindi? So that's why the great positioning of the actors are very important in such playing in the scene of this kind of theatrical performance or play. So that's why it's very important. And also one of a trivia, there is a difference between act and scene. Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction kung akala ninyo the same lang siya. So yan, di ba? Nagkakaroon kasi ng misconception regarding on that. Pag sinabing act, it is the generalized one. Ibig sabihin, siya yung may larger part. Ano naman yung scene? The scene is the division of the act. It is the smaller portions of the act. So once again, Pag sinabing act, it is a larger portion of the play. And when we say scene, it is a small portion of the act. So for example, Act 1. So ang Act 1 consists of different scenes. So ganun po siya. But do we have any question regarding on it? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. Then next you have the lighting. Anyone who would like to read what is lighting? Yes, Miss Pueblo.
Lighting. Make actors visible on stage. Artistic purpose of conveying information and atmosphere about dramatic action.
Thank you very much. Let us give her a virtual clap. So we have now the lighting. So the lighting gives another purpose to the artist. It gives another sense on how the audiences will keep or pick up all of the scenarios and who are those actors that will give their dialogues. So for example, dialogue na ni Mr. Tonelete, dapat nasa kanya yung lighting kasi siya na yung magbibigay ng dialogue. So it gives emphasis to his character. Then for example, character na ni Miss Fratkin yung magsasalita. Syempre, dahil sila yung nagbabatuhan ng lines, the lighting should be on the spot on them. Dapat nakalagay talaga sa kanila to give emphasis na sila yung nagbabatuhan ng lines. So that's why lighting is very important. So from that, your audience will pick up and can join and engage to your scenes and dialogues because of this lighting. Then the next one is the costume. Anyone who would like to read? What is costume? Yes, Sister Aliva.
Costumes may convey external aspects of character, may also suggest inner elements such as mood and personality.
Thank you very much. Let us give him a virtual. Yeah? So of course, costume gives an extra factor on how you will convince your audiences regarding with your character. It is the inner elements and as a mood and personality. So for example, if the character of the character of Mr. Oliva, siya yung boy next door. Yan. So dapat yung costume niya will be on the right persona. Kasi kapag hindi makakonvince yung audience natin that you are playing on that part. So for example, si Miss Pueblo, siya yung mayaman na babae, naggaling Inglaterra. So, dapat yung kanyang damit or her costume should be right on her character. So that's why costume is very important. And then the last one, we have the audience. Anyone who would like to read what will be the participation of the audience regarding with theater? Yes, Sister Delia.
Audience. Presentation or representational style. Motion. Physical arrangement. Emotional relationship to the action and audience makeup.
Thank you very much. Let us give him a virtual clap. Of course, audience are very important. Because of the audience, they are the reason why we are creating such art of theater performance. So through them, we need to build a relationship or the sympathetic relationship between them. If we convince them while you are crying and you make them cry, it means that your acting is very effective. You connect with them because the audience will give you the criticism and evaluation of overall performance of each actor in one theater performance. So do we have any question regarding with the elements of art? Kindly give me a thumbs up reaction if you don't have any question. So if you don't have any question, let us have the quiz. Magku-quiz tayo ngayon. It is just 15 items. Ayan. Lahat yon ay multiple choice. Let me set up the quiz. And let me set up the quiz and share my screen. join our quiz today, kindly click the link inside your chat box here at Gmail, and your game code will be 900681. And kindly use your real name for your username. Surname huwag kakalimutan. We have now 3 participants, still waiting for the others. So far, we have now 25 participants, still waiting for the others. Once again, to join our quiz, kindly click our link inside this Gmeet, yun sa chat box natin. And you may use the game code, which is 900681. Then use your real name as your username. But do not forget to write your surname, first name. Today, the top scorers will get a surprise bonus. So, meron pa rin tayong pa-premium today. Still waiting for